wherever this video clip is going to live. David Shoemaker has a Lil Nate / it's not even full Nate. It's definitely Charles Robinson style.
Yeah.
Toupee on his head, hairpiece. Did you put wig glue? Did you use wig glue for that? Like it looks,
yeah, well, that's what
I've
been asking you a lot of questions about wig glue. No, this is like from my kid's like costume box, but somehow it fits perfectly and looks like I've lost my mind. It looks like it actually could work as like David thinks he's wearing a wig almost.
I mean, here's the thing: if it fits you well in a weird way. You kind of look like what's the dude who was you look like you founded Facebook. Like you look like one of those guys.
Choked on my coffee.
Yeah, like
I feel like if you were a little
bit more
Ric Flair
chunky.
Remember when Ric Flair cut his hair? That's a little bit what we're looking at. That what it was like that bad idea.
Oh, this is fire me. I'm already fired style.
Yeah.
Ric Flair. Yeah. That's what you're going for.
Yeah.
But she kind of looked like
you
a
can't
single
tell
mom.
it's dark
also.
in the back because it looks more realistic. But like I kind of just like decided to bleach the top.
Yeah, it looks like it was a brown wig at one point in time, and you had to give it the single mom blonde highlights. You got a little bit of a Jonathan Taylor Thomas thing going.
I've got a long-standing joke with my wife that I should just show up with a wig or a toupee for special occasions and just totally play it straight. Like
you should.
Like I just wear a hat all the time, and maybe I don't think people try to make people think I'm being serious. This is my like whenever I would like I think it started when I was getting like my suit together for the Andre documentary, and we were just like, what if I wore a toupee and tried to make and like no sold it, just like how would Bill have to pull me aside and be like, David, what's going on, man?
You should do it honestly. Like
anytime I go to like a wedding or whatever, just put on the wig. Just
put it on. It has to be specifically special occasions. Like not an occasion special enough where like you take away from the person, like the guest of honor, like the wet. You know what I mean? Like if it's a wedding, I would suggest a wedding or something.
Oh, you
like
think the bride might get upset or something?
You might be taking a little bit of attention away from the person that's meant to have attention towards. But like you could wear this to SummerSlam.
I was thinking,
it's surprisingly comfortable. When you wear a hat 24 hours a day, it's like it's not like it's that uncomfortable.
Nah. You could we could do like our media row of interviews like in toupee, and I will play it straight with you the entire time, and just wait until somebody's like, "Yo, are you like that's new? When's that come up?" I will play it straight with you completely. Great. Yes. Absolutely. But it looks good on you. You've aged like 10 years backwards. You ever watched Not Another Teen Movie?
Yeah.
You look like the grown-up
been a long
version.
time though.
Yeah. You look like the grown-up version of not Chris Evans, the other guy that was like, Janie Evans is hot. Like, drinks the shot or whatever. That's what it looks like.
Well, I appreciate that.
Looks good though. Keep it.
I don't know if I can make it through the whole podcast like this, but
you should. Now you got to. I need all the Instagram clips that look like this.
Was that a cold open question? Who do I look like?
Brian, I swear, if you even mention the wig in any of the IG captions, and don't play it straight with us completely until people notice.
No mention of the wig.
No, completely no sell the wig. This entire all the TikTok and IG clips, just like
it's kind of funnier with the hat because it looks like I'm right there. I'm not showing.
You gotta let it tuck out. Yeah. You gotta be a little subtle with it. All
right. Well, no, I've been asking questions about hair glue for a while. Finally, I can put it.
Looks like PewDiePie. PewDiePie, is that his name? Gosh.
Let's start the show. Welcome to the Masked Man Show with Kaz. How you doing, buddy? I'm good. I'm young. I'm viral.
You do.
refresh.
You are viral today. You are you do look like you've aged in reverse. I'm not gonna lie. This is gonna take some getting used to. You look Swedish. Are you Swedish somehow?
No, I
There's
don't
some
think
Sweden
so.
in you. Like say Guten Tag real quick. I think you can pull it off. You look like one of Ludwig Kaiser's kin.
Ludwig Kaiser.
Yeah, I know he's not Swedish, but if you told me like that was like your distant cousin, I'd be like, oh, I can see that.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah, it's the hair.
Well, thanks for your approval. Nobody really has hair like this anymore in wrestling. Everybody used to have the bleached floppy hair. Everybody used to have the Ric Flair cut.
Yeah, you look like Kyle Fletcher version 1, like just
before, it's true. When I used to make fun of his hair all the time. Kyle Fletcher's official at All In, going one-on-one with Adam Cole. That's going to be a good one. That's a great choice for Adam Cole opponent.
Great match, great settings, all that type of stuff. I think we got to get right down to the brass tacks of what this week is going to be. All right, this weekend
we got to get set. This weekend is because we'll be back on Thursday, but that's not going to be enough time. This is going to be nuts.
That's too much wrestling. That's too much wrestling to jump on the Thursday show. We're starting today. All right, we're starting grand. Let's start very macro. Let's get granular here. All right, All In, biggest show of AEW's calendar year.
Oh, for
Saturday night's main event, Evolution, NXT's Great American Bash. All in the span of what? 3 days, right?
What day is the Great American Bash on?
I think the Great American Bash is that Sunday morning. I want to say. I don't even know. Brian, let me know what time Great American Bash is. But it's a lot of wrestling. For the next
3 Eastern time, noon.
3 Eastern time. Okay. Damn, so Saturday and Sunday, you are packed to the gills with graps from Saturday night's main event on. So, but All In comes at a really interesting time for me in wrestling, right? Like I think AEW, and thank God they have to. I feel like they've gotten they've righted the ship. I don't want to say righted the ship, but I would say creatively. They're doing a lot better than they've had in the past, and especially with their biggest show of the year coming up. Us two and us three, really, we had a big conversation about direct counter programming for AEW and WWE, and just how, personally for fans probably love it. Some other fans that want to go to both probably don't love it, but it's here. And with a week to go, what's the bigger, I'm going to ask you, Dave, what's the bigger sort of story here? WWE's attempts at counter programming AEW, or AEW's and it's their biggest show. What is going to be the bigger story coming out on Monday after all this wrestling is done? Is it about, what do you think?
I'm a little bit worried.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie.
Worried on behalf of who? As a fan?
I'm worried about the narratives that are gonna come out.
Oh, it's gonna be some nasty narratives, which is why I think it's the fun combo.
Well, it feels a little bit like putting NXT head to head with Dynamite in the early days of the competition, the war, or the whatever.
Mm-hmm.
When NXT was sort of doomed to lose that, and it ended up reflecting really badly on NXT, on the Triple H, black and gold era or whatever, when really that's not the battle, right? It was it's like if you have two armies converging and one army is much bigger than the other army.
All right.
So the big army just throws out a scouting party, and they're like, "Don't worry, the scouting party will take care of them." And the scouting party gets wiped out. It's just like, you blame the scouting party. It's like, no, you should have just fought the fight if that's what you want to do. You know?
Okay.
I think there's a chance. My guess is that AEW. I don't know how they're going to measure these things. You know, it's not like pay-per-view buys or whatever. But like the ticket sales for Evolution don't look particularly great. It's across the street from Beyonce concert, which is
in Atlanta of all places.
In Atlanta.
Yeah.
My fear is that it's going to be like NXT, and that like it's just going to like somehow redound to like, oh, we just can't do like the problem wasn't WWE's counter programming. The problem is nobody likes women's wrestling. Like that's the narrative. That's the narrative I don't want to hear.
All right, so I'm glad you pointed that out, because I could see that sort of shitstorm started swirling right now, right? Like it almost feels like if you didn't have enough sort of foresight in your product, you kind of set the women up to look crazy no matter what, right? Like you set them, even if it was just, directly programming against an AEW show, you're going up against their absolute biggest show in a city that is going to be bonkers that day. I think the MLB All-Star game is that weekend too. Like there's a lot of stuff going on in there. And on top of that, and I love the conversations on the show about like the product and all that stuff. And I really hate ratings combos and ticket combos and all that type of stuff, because it's never directed. It's never linear. But I think what I'm going to think of as far as like narratives after this weekend is that AEW could be an amazing company and do amazing work without feeling like they're ever going to topple WWE. Right? Like they don't, and they don't have to. I think fans got it in their head because of how the Monday Night Wars ended, is that like one company has to stay on top, right? Like I think,
but that's just demonstrably untrue. I mean, AEW is just set.
Yeah. Like they should be set. And I think, in a weird way, like I think both of these shows in a weekend that should be all about like how cool wrestling is and like how dope it is that a 20,000 seat venue that wasn't owned by WWE, is filled up for wrestling. And on the other side of the country, we got a pay-per-view with just all women, because women has come so far. Like this should be the weekend of celebrating how far wrestling has come.
Absolutely.
In the past 25 years, right? Since 2000, since the end of WWE and WCW. But it's gonna be such a weird, uncomfortable combo because of all the things that were mentioned, right? Like I think it's gonna be a really interesting sort of like talking point, man. Like I think Evolution being at the State Farm Arena, I think the last I looked, there was about like 4,000 tickets sold or something like that. And forget the tickets being sold. I saw a clip of how they were like promoting the Jade Naomi match and like how they worked Trish Stratus into the the title match. And it's just like, yeah, like I know it's hard to promote. I'll say this. Real estate on TV is so vital. And when you're using that to promote things that are happening on one show, that's a hard thing to do. Talk less of three. You know what I mean? Talk less of three in one weekend. And I think that's where I think AEW is going to have like a really good weekend this weekend, right? Like I think they're perfectly set up. And I'm glad that they're doing it in America, even though it's not as big as Wembley and the number is not going to be as massive as that show was. Like, who cares? They're doing, tens of thousands of people in an American stadium, and they're putting on a good product right now. Like, they're not putting out a product
really good.
They're not putting out a product that feels like I'm hitting myself against the head. And in a weird way, there's so many matches on that show. The stuff that I'm not vibing with, I don't even have to put enough sort of mental space into like, wanting to watch it, right? Like that's the byproduct of having so much wrestling on, right? Like I know if I'm watching All In and I don't know, the triple threat tag team match that Christian and Nick Wayne just happened to get into.
Oh my gosh,
is on. I know I could switch to what else is on the other TV because I'm like, all right, not really a big build. Pretty sure I want the tag team champions to stay tag team champions. Like, I can be judicial about how I channel surf or how I shift my attention, but if I'm grading who's done a better job of promoting their shows this weekend, out of everybody, AEW's done the 100%. Best job of doing that. Like, and they should be doing the best job of doing that. It's their biggest show of the year. But like, all the talk going into the counter programming and all that type of stuff, like, the momentum is squarely on AEW's side as far as like what narratives are going to be and like how their show is going to look and like the opportunities that they have to make real moments that last beyond what happens at Saturday night's main event.
Yeah,
Great
absolutely.
American Bash. And unfortunately, Evolution, unless they like turn this shit up in the next like 7 days, you know. But it's gonna be very interesting to see how it all unfolds for real.
Yeah, I agree. There's just a lot going on in WWE. I mean, just to build up to a Saturday night's main event and an Evolution, and the Evolution. Like I was talking to Brian before we started. You know, I've said what I have to say about Evolution cards. It's cool to have it. It's going to be a cool show, but it's inherently sort of like a Worlds Collide sort of show. It's a special event show. You know, It's like an old Saudi show. You know, it's like this is the event where Trish Stratus fights Tiffany Stratton. You know, it's not like real storyline driven because it feels like it's kind of shoehorned in. You know, one of the real triumphs of. Sorry, I was trying to leave my wig on so I could talk about the Outrunners, but it's killing me.
It looked good. I thought you had a stocking cap underneath it. I thought you went all the way.
I should have had another wig on underneath, like Mio Mascaras. Remember? Did you grow up watching him? He'd have like 10 masks on, and it's the guy would yank his mask off. I'd be like, ha ha ha, another mask.
Or you could do the Sting. You know, you hit somebody and take off the mask.
And it's just me again, the exact same mask again.
Yeah.
I bet that's what Little Nate has. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, the build's a little bit just like it's not real organic. One of the real triumphs of Triple H's booking, even though there's a lot of people that haven't made it on to the big cards. I'm looking at you, SmackDown Tag Team Division, and a lot of women's wrestling. Even though the big PLE cards are kind of cutthroat. It's like the stories that they're telling that have warranted that spot are the ones that get on the show, and now it's just like, well, how do we kind of create 6 matches out of thin air, you know? Right. And then Liv Morgan goes down with the injury. And then, you know, some of the plans have been thrown out because of that and reorganized. I don't know. Let's talk about it a little bit though. Since I mentioned it offhandedly, did you watch Outrunners versus FTR?
I saw clips of it online.
Tag team match of the year. I mean, really? It was so freaking good.
Okay. All right.
I'm not sure what it says about the Outrunners. I mean, they're obviously a gimmicky team, and they haven't shown us that they're like a super duper work rate team night in and night out, but they sure look like it in that match. I mean, FTR could probably get a great match out of anybody. And it kind of shows a weird path to to the Outrunners being a more legit team in the company, in the division. I almost like the idea that if we just sort of paint them as like FTR's Bizarro version, right? It's like FTR could be like this dominant tag team, and nobody thinks like the Outrunners are like the best of the best, but FTR can't. But like they do something to FTR that like FTR just can't demolish them like they should, right? So like it's almost like they got to beat them to move, to like mentally move past them. Maybe that's something they can return to, because that match was great. And it was, you know, they've done some cool stuff on Collision. They really did the Cole Fletcher stuff, you know, move that forward on Collision. You know, so they're doing some cool stuff on that show. But it looks like the All In card is all set. The Evolution card, is the Evolution card set, or we're still waiting for SmackDown? Well, I guess there's a lot of TBAs in like the matches, right?
I think so, but I think that I would say it's pretty much set unless they announce something tonight or on Friday. We got a bunch of new matches. We got
the
Naomi and Jade
the battle royal
official.
we don't know, right?
Battle Royal, yeah.
But we don't know any of those contestants. But we do know. Let's see, we got JC Jane versus Jordan Grace, which is a good showcase NXT match. It was just formally announced Becky Lynch versus Bayley versus Lyra Valkyria for the triple threat for the IC championship. That's going to be insane.
That's going to be a great match. Jade
Cargill versus Naomi, no holds barred. No holds barred. Not a single
Somebody's getting pushed into a truck, right? Like that's got to be the hardcore match of the night. Like that's got to be the bells and whistles match of the night, I'm assuming.
How do you play that one? I mean, it's been a while getting here.
Well, I mean, somebody's got to take a tumble, right? Like they've been talking about this, Naomi pushing Jade onto a car since November, I want to say. And, it's no holds barred. You want to make Jade look great, going into her world title match at SummerSlam. Like, I could definitely see Jade getting some comeuppance on Naomi. And like,
me too, because Jade also has to work SummerSlam, right? I mean, she's got the Queen of the Ring. I mean, I guess the other option would be to have her injured so she couldn't do it and Naomi tries to take her place or something. But that's a real, even if it's in the service of a great storyline, that feels like a real demotion for Jade to win the Queen of the Ring and then not make SummerSlam.
No, I think it's the opposite. I think Jade could probably like take Naomi out at the end of this match, and then we could be like, oh, finally, like Naomi's been neutralized.
Yeah, exactly.
Surely we won't see her at SummerSlam, and then she comes in and cashes in on Jade. And
correct. I think that's exactly right. Or cash in. She comes down the aisle on the crutches.
Yep. Throws him,
and then throws him and cashes in anyway. Hits Jade with the crutch.
Has the caution tape around the knee or something like that, and just
so it feels like Jade's gonna win that. I mean, that'll be a thrown onto the hood of a car. Jade win, I would guess. We don't have to do all of our picks yet, but we're gonna have to run through them on Thursday. Brian was saying he hopes that Trish wins over Tiffany Stratton.
Really?
Is there a case for it?
Possibly, because Tiffany was like low-key a heel in this promo. Like she was giving it to Trish, be like, hey, this is the attitude there, buddy. And like, but I don't see that happening. I mean, I kind of feel like when you bring in a legend and gets a title shot immediately, hint, hint, Saturday night's main event, they're probably there to put over the champ and make him look good. So I think Trish is in that same Goldberg spot where I'm here to sell some tickets and, sell some merch and look at the star, look up at the spotlights at the end of the night for Tiffany Stratton.
Yeah.
So that's your job as an OG, is to make the next generation look great.
Counterpoint.
Now you could throw me for a loop. You could by putting the title back on her, but I doubt it.
Tiffany Stratton is undeniably one of the future super duper stars of the company.
I know where you're going, and I feel the same way. I know where you're going.
A little bit of world heavyweight champion Damian Priest in her run so far.
I was going to take it a step further. Go ahead.
No,
go ahead.
No. She was clicking way more as the challenger than she has. Yeah.
As the chaser, she was great. And I don't even think it's about so much her reign or what she's done as like an in-ring competitor. I just think they're afraid to make a decision on what kind of character they want her to be. It's like they kind of want her to be a babyface, but like she has so much of these natural heel tendencies that like they kind of like jump back and forth too much. And I don't think you get anywhere when you don't commit to something. And I don't think they've really committed it to. I think they really tried. I think they tried in their hardest of hearts after this Nia Jax feud to be like, we're going to make this girl the next it girl in WWE and like, babyface champ, next Charlotte Flair, all this type of stuff. But like all of these things that's happened, whether it be through the Charlotte promo or the Trish promo now, and just her, I'm sorry, natural mannerisms she's such a more effective bad guy than a good guy. Like, she's such a natural heel that I think it's sort of dampened her championship reign. It's like they're afraid to sort of like push it all the way onto one side with her. And it's kind of been a nothing reign so far. No disrespect. Like, outside of the Charlotte shoot promo, whatever happened on the way to WrestleMania, like, it's kind of been a nothing reign so far with Tiffany Stratton. And I think they got to figure out exactly what they want her to be.
I feel like the only time it had real heat is when she got caught in the middle of the Naomi Jade thing.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
There was like one SmackDown where like everybody was like, they were all challenging Tiffany at the same time after WrestleMania, but yeah, I mean, that's the only point where it had electricity. I don't know. I mean, she got caught up in the Charlotte thing. That was a whole mess. Now she's
honestly, that was the most interested I was in her at that point. To be fair,
oh sure. I mean, since WrestleMania, but yeah, no, I mean that certainly had electricity. I don't want to discount that. And then I'm sure at some point, to some degree, they're in a holding pattern, sort of treading water for Evolution. If this is the match they were going to do, but I wish they would have built to it a little bit more organically. Not that they haven't had their run-ins in the past. I know there's backstory here, but dude, you can't just give. I mean, Trish Stratus is a freaking legend, but it didn't work with The Rock to show up like one time before a big event. It's not going to work with Trish Stratus. You got to really you got to show up.
And it's not even just showing up. It's like it just feels it feels thrown together. It feels like
totally
there wasn't enough thought put behind it.
I don't know if they were friends or enemies the last time they shared a ring. I think they were friends. I think they exactly
were friends.
sure.
Yeah. I think they were friends.
Did not. I was a little confused and not interested in doing the research. So
and it just kind of felt
that tells you what you need to know.
I don't know. It just kind of felt like there was better ways to get to this match outside of 2 segments. You know what I mean? Like, could have. What was Tiffany doing that was so important in the past couple of weeks that she couldn't just been like, not only is it important for me to be the women's champion, but like being the women's champion heading into the second ever Evolution pay-per-view. Like, they could have made this feel bigger and better. And like the Trish element, even if you get her for 1 week and be like, yo, Trish, you know how much this show means to me. It would be I want to face you there. Like, boom, easy. Like, you could have done that, but like kind of throwing Evolution to the side for a little bit and then being like in the next week or two, like, all right, time to heat it up. It's like, all right, I'm sure the show's still going to be great, but like, you're not doing much to really get me excited to watch it,
Yeah. Yeah. So that's why I hope Trish Stratus wins. Just reset.
Just so some shits could have happened and went down,
Yeah, you can reset a little bit, put Tiffany back in a chaser role, Just let Trish come and celebrate for a while. I mean, come on. That'll be fun. I'm still putting all my money on Stephanie Vaquer winning the Battle Royal, not knowing anyone who's going to be in it. Although I assume probably have Nikki Bella might be involved in this. There's, it could be a lot of legends.
Could be.
We get the 4-team tag match. Well, here's the question that Brian asked. What's going to main event? Is it Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley? Is it Trish Stratus versus Tiffany Stratton?
I think Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley is the main event.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Those are your two. Those are your 2 biggest stars right now, and
that's
Tiffany
your only.
Trish. Yeah, Tiffany Trish seems like a nice opener, but I'd end the show with Rhea and Io.
And Io Sky and Rhea Ripley can be 25 minutes if they want. They can feel like a giant match. I don't know.
Yeah,
Trish Stratus has,
and it's the best match on the card. Honestly.
Oh, for sure.
It's the best match on the card, easily.
The IC title match.
And I love all 3 of them. Trust me, I do. But Io Sky, I don't think Io Sky's ever had a bad match.
No.
Ever. And Rhea Ripley, they have a great chemistry, those 2. So I just think that's the best matchup on the entire card. It's got to be the main event for sure.
Okay, good. We're in agreement there. We're running through the weekend here. So that's on, what night? That's on Sunday.
Sunday, yes.
Okay, let's run through the weekend in order. You got Saturday night's main event on Saturday. Right? Gunther versus Goldberg, Seth versus LA Knight, and Drew versus Randy. Think that the card is pretty set? Get a women's match thrown in there somehow?
Yeah. I mean, you know what I came to see? I came to see a knock on the security door. I came to see fireworks. I came to see one spear and or jackhammer, but ultimately,
I guess we won't have. There wouldn't be a women. I mean, man, there wouldn't make sense to put a big women's match on there because they would just do it the next night. We didn't mention Julia. She's presumably going to have some sort of eliminator match at Evolution as well. How long is Goldberg's entrance going to be?
I think you got a commercial break in between entrances. I think you should get us. I think, and one thing I've noticed about Saturday night's main event, especially it being on network television, is that like you even get even less time in the ring. Like if you think if you think the matches on Raw or SmackDown are quick, those Saturday night's main event matches are like hiccups. Like you might get a 10-minute match out of all those matches on the card, but they just sort of fly through. And you got a ton of commercials in between. So total runtime for Goldberg's night might be like 8 minutes max.
That's true.
Yeah.
Do you think Gunther can do a Goldberg takeoff entrance? Like, could we just start Gunther's music and show him coming out of the dressing room?
I would love that. That would be hilarious.
Oh man.
Mike goes it's great walking music too. He could definitely pull it off. Like,
what's the case for Goldberg winning this?
There is none. There is none.
This is his retirement match.
He should not. Exactly right. Like when you get a chance to tell people this is your last match, you're giving a great gift, man. Like you're giving a great gift to that person that you're in the ring with, saying like, "Hey, this is my retirement match." That's the title right there. Like it's being able to like have this dude's, scalp in your collection. Like Goldberg is essentially giving Gunther a great gift, but I ain't trying to see this dude win. Like, I love Goldberg. Trust me. I love the entrance. I love everything.
What's the point of having the match if there's like no chance he could win?
For everything I just said, we know why we came to see Goldberg. He's in Atlanta for the final time. He gets to make that walk to the ring. He gets to stand in the pyro and bounce and have smoke come out of his nose and maybe throw a spear. But that's really it. Like, I want to see him get put in the dirt. Like, don't get it confused. Like, I still want to see Gunther like end this man in a violent way. Listen, there's been things said about Gunther's first reign that I don't necessarily disagree with. I think it definitely could have been better. Great way to get this second run on the right foot is having Gunther embarrass and like mutilate Goldberg like in his last match. Like have him get stretchered out, have him leave bloody, like anything you could do to be like, oh, we have a real final boss now. Not no pun intended, but like the world champion, especially when it's Gunther's got to feel like some real insurmountable mountain to climb. And if he sends Goldberg out on his ass that the way he should, not just barely winning, not just being like, oh, he had spunk and oh man, even at this age, he's like, nah, that dude's got to look like a shell of his former self at the end of that match. And Gunther has to stand there with his arms behind his back, like, take this piece of trash out of my ring. The ring is sacred. Now you got him. Now you got him popping again.
Or you could just do like a, dusty finish or something, just let
No dusty finishes, Dave. Goldberg
wins, but he doesn't get the title, and it's his last match.
Nah,
or somehow like Gunther gets himself disqualified. The ring's not so sacred anymore.
You know what my hot take is, Dave? This is probably the most important match in Gunther's life. I think it's the most important match in his life. This is definitely the most important match of his championship reigns as a world heavyweight champion. Because I think everybody knows Gunther could wrestle. Like, we all know he could put on a great match.
Of course we do. Yeah.
It's unsurprising to anybody. But he hasn't had that, like, true just moment of scary dominance over somebody, Like, they're always great matches. And, like, I think the closest we got was the triple threat with Drew and Sheamus at WrestleMania, where you're just like, this guy, who's gonna beat this guy? He's unbelievable, and when you get a chance to put somebody like Goldberg in the dirt for good in his home crowd, like, you got to milk that. You got to turn that into
but you
a real
are the world's biggest
career.
Goldberg fan. You don't have any desire to see him win the title and retire with the belt?
Not even a tiny bit, dog. Not even a little bit. Like, I love Goldberg for reasons that have very little to do with his win-loss record. I just like
if burying
the Goldberg energy brings to a
just
match.
For the sake of argument. If burying Goldberg is better than winning a championship, right?
Yeah.
If ending the career of Bill Goldberg, destroying him, is a huge notch in someone's belt, why doesn't Seth cash in this match just so we can murder Goldberg and then maybe win the title too?
Maybe.
I mean, Seth's also wrestling.
I don't know. I feel like the rule 82-35 of the WWE Money in the Bank handbook is once you get a customized briefcase, you gotta hold that shit for a little bit.
Maybe that's misdirection. Maybe having him on the card is misdirection. Maybe this is all. I mean, logically, you have him on the card to eliminate the opportunity for him to cash in.
Yeah, nah. Gunther's got to make Goldberg go to sleep. Like, he's got to tap him out or do something that's never happened to him. Like choke him to death. Make Goldberg finally say no mas. Do something. You got to do something that makes people. I'm not saying Undertaker Brock Lesnar level, but it's got to be close to that. It's got to be on some oh my God, he really just dismantled this dude or this legend. Maybe this dude needs to hang it up. He definitely needs to hang it up. The same feeling we all got when Brock Lesnar beat Undertaker and watched him walk his ass back to the top of the ramp. We're yeah, this guy just, he should, this should be it. He should stop right now, And maybe Undertaker's legacy is a million times different if he did stop right then and now. But yeah, I think Gunther has to do the same thing to Goldberg at Saturday Night's Main Event to make it worth watching over All In. He's got to do something like that.
I know Goldberg's made a lot of money in his career. He still does reality TV, I think. I don't know. I don't really have an idea, but it's I can't imagine a world in which we're not fantasy booking Bill Goldberg to show up every year or so. It's just kind of sad. Gunther really missed out on the opportunity to make fun of him for being done, though, because he could be I hope you have fun in this match because 2 months from now you're going to be working at the DMV or something, and you're going to be that guy behind the glass every time
the rubber stamp.
No, yeah, you hit the stamp and then you say, "You're next." The person in line. Who's next?
Oh, that's a great dad.
Who's next?
Boy.
Yeah. Anyway, Goldberg.
Who's next? Burgers, man.
Who's next? Goldberg's Deli. You're just that's a more of a take a number situation. I don't think it's a who's next.
I was like, that was a little spot on right there. Goldberg's Deli.
I think that exists. I don't know.
I think he'll do all right in that.
So we're gonna wake up Sunday morning. So we're gonna wake up Sunday, go to church, come home, have dinner, and then at 3 p.m. Eastern time, NXT's Great American Bash is happening.
I almost feel like All In starts at the same time, no?
Wait, when is
All In? 0 hour starts at 3 or something like that? It starts pretty early.
Let's see. 2 p.m. start time.
Whew. All right, so, Jesus, you might get a good hour and a half out of me on Sunday.
whoa, wait. 2 p.m. in Texas.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So that would be 4 p.m.
Eastern, no, it's only an hour.
I'm getting a 3 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah, so 3 Eastern. All right, so Jesus, you get the full 3.
All right, so 3 p.m. the flip begins. Inamura versus Obafemi. Jordan Grace is wrestling again. Teaming up with Blake Monroe, FKA, Mariah May, against Fatal Influence. Sol Ruca versus Izzy Dame. I guess it'll probably be something else. They'll throw together some more matches tomorrow.
Yep.
But at the same time, we got the beginning of a 14-hour AEW pay-per-view. And then I guess right after NXT, they'll use in the same venue. They'll have Evolution, right?
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
So if you were an Atlanta resident, not a professional wrestling podcaster, and you had to pick between Evolution and the Beyonce concert, what are you going to pick?
I'm going to the Beyonce concert, Dave. I'm sorry.
What if it's front row for Evolution versus euchre seats, bad seats up in the rafters for Beyonce?
I'm going to the Beyonce concert.
All right. There are a lot of wrestling fans out there who are like, "There's no crossover between these two audiences. Show me one person." Well, here it is. Your favorite Goldberg mark.
Kazeem, come on, man. And I love me some wrestling, but if the choices are Beyonce in concerts and Evolution, I'm picking Beyonce in concert, even with bad seats. Because even a Beyonce concert, a bad seat, you get a great view of the show. They've thought of everything when you go to that thing. It's an entire experience. And man, that is tough competition on any night.
What if it was that? What if it was all in the same place?
Same thing.
You're gonna pick Beyonce over All In Texas?
When Beyonce comes to town, she's in here you don't even need to know, you don't even need to look at her tour dates. You could just look around I could just look around maybe 5 or 6 of my closest friends. I'm like, Beyonce must be performing this weekend. She must be at MetLife. You will just see the energy of Beyonce just take over a city when that stadium show comes to town. Same thing with Kendrick right now, same thing with I think the last I think the Weeknd had a pretty big stadium show, when Taylor Swift was coming to town. There's just certain artists that when they come into town, ain't shit else happening in the city but that show, and anything else is just secondary. All the biggest sports stars in that city are going to the show, all the biggest everybody who is anybody, especially in that city. And I will give you the benefit of the doubt. If you are a wrestling fan who just happens to also be a Beyonce fan, there's a 0.0% chance that you got those Beyonce tickets the same day those Evolution tickets went on sale. Those Beyonce tickets you got a long time ago. You planned the vacation around, you planned your day, you called the babysitter. You made all sets of arrangements for that. Evolution just getting announced when it got announced. And Beyonce already knew she was having that show there. I mean, granted, I don't know if the Venn diagram matches up completely, but the geography of what that city is going to feel like absolutely is affected by Beyonce and Evolution at the same time.
All right,
you know what I mean?
Fair enough. Fair. I think I would probably make a different choice.
Okay. But you can't.
I would definitely choose Beyonce over NXT.
It's if there's a wrestling show in town and Taylor Swift's in town, and I'm not even the biggest Taylor Swift fan, I know the Taylor Swift energy is in that city and everything is happening around that.
It's WrestleMania weekend. It's wrestling energy.
Right. Yeah. Except it's one person, that's how it feels. When we go to WrestleMania cities, WrestleMania takes over that city, and that's with a bunch of people. This is just with one, So
what if they had run Evolution at 3 instead of NXT? How much money would they have to have paid Beyonce to make a 5-minute appearance and sing the national anthem or something?
Well, I just want to go out and say I think NXT is going to be fine. I think they're doing the show at Center Stage, so it's you can fill that up. That's going to be. That's 1,000 people tops. I want to say the old WCW spot, but doing the State Farm Arena, and then getting Beyonce to sing there. So what was the question? How much would we pay for having?
If they had just done Evolution in the early spot so that Beyonce could do both her show and Evolution. How much money does it cost to get Beyonce to show up? That's my question.
The limit does not exist, Dave. The limit does not exist.
It's right across the street.
I have no idea what Beyonce's fee is, and Lord, do I even want to fathom a guess on what it would take to pay for her to come and perform somewhere for you.
Mm-hmm.
When's the last time you've seen Beyonce sing the national anthem, period?
Well, you're right. You could find something for her to do. I was thinking of the lowest, like the lowest impact thing for her to do. Anyway. Probably a terrible question. Anyway.
Just tough sledding. Just whoever, man, I don't know. You need some more black folks that work back behind the scenes in WWE. Somebody would have stood up immediately like, yo, are we sure? Are we sure we want to put our all-women show in Atlanta the same time as a Beyonce concert? Like, somebody would have stood up and been like, yo, we might get a little bit of trickle over, but that is not the right way to move. The Atlanta Hawks would probably be like, I don't know if we should play a game today.
Yeah.
Like, we'll see who shows up to watch us play, because Beyonce's got a stadium show down the street. Like,
yep.
It's tough.
Crazy.
That is just tough sledding for anybody.
Okay. No, but then the Evolution will do so, and people will say
Trae Young will be like, yo, I got to get out of here, man. Like, Beyonce's about to go on stage. like that's how it is over there, So I don't know. That's rough. Somebody should have been on top of
that. What would be the All In Texas equivalent of Beyonce playing across the street? Is it like Morgan Wallen playing across the street?
Yes, absolutely. Morgan. That is precisely the person I was going to say. Like, if Morgan Wallen was playing at the where the Cowboys play, or playing at somewhere near Arlington, whatever they're at, I'm like, yeah, that's just poor planning. Like, that is your demographic. You kidding me? That is your demographic.
Yeah,
Texans
they're at the baseball stadium.
But yeah, Texans love wrestling, but they don't love wrestling more than they love country music. It's like people from Atlanta love wrestling. They don't love wrestling more than they love black music. And when Beyonce's in town, you are, yeah. Somebody should have said something.
Yeah, it's true. That's what WWE should stop. They should learn a lesson from this. Stop wasting time counter-programming on TV. And what they should do is just follow AEW around booking the venue next door with concerts. Like, AT&T Stadium is literally across the street. Say, hey, how much money, Morgan, Mr. Wallen, how much money just to do a free show at AT&T Stadium?
Oh man, I don't know.
Or at the park next door. Just do a setup show. Oh, that would be the best thing. Just a free, people are walking past the park to get to Globe Life Field, and it's just like, wait, is that Morgan Wallen playing right there? And then they all just like veer off. Nobody makes it into their seats. It's great.
This is vile movements.
Yeah, I don't want to be giving anybody any ideas. So yeah, okay. So we talked a little bit about that. What's your let's go to All In. What's your God? This is gonna be a huge card. You mentioned the 3-way tag team match. Christian's officially on there now. Christian and Nick Wayne, triple threat tag team match. Hurt Syndicate versus Jet Speed versus Christian Cage and Nick Wayne. Also feels like an opportunity potentially for Edge to make an appearance. There is the rumors they want to do Edge and Christian versus the Hurt Syndicate at some point. This might be a way into that. Who knows? Cole versus Fletcher is getting bang. This is like I said, the best possible use of Adam Cole. I'm very excited to get a little bit of that old Adam Cole energy back. Swerve and Ospreay versus the Bucks. Omega Okada. Tony Storm, Mercedes Moné. By the way, I keep saying we should do a segment that's like unsung hero of the week, just so we can talk about somebody who we never talk about because we just stick to like the headlines half the time. Luther is the greatest guy in AEW. I mean, he is never not at 100. And he's just so like that. as silly as that role is, it would be so easy to get it wrong. And he nails it pitch perfect every single moment that he's on screen. That could be real bad. That could be real. Anyway, love Luther.
I think that's him.
Yeah, maybe so. And Moxley versus Hangman. What time do you think Moxley versus Hangman's going to start?
I'm going with 11:15 p.m. No, 10:57 p.m. Is with Moxley and Hangman.
I was going to say, I'm going to set the over-under at 11 just to see how you feel. I mean, it could be, I feel like that's probably about right.
I think 10:57 p.m. Eastern time is when they will start. That is my guess. I'll put some bread down on that.
Yeah. That's going to be a long day of wrestling. From 3 o'clock to whenever that match ends. Sometime on Monday. Whew. All right. Well, let's get some sleep between now and then. Try to get that stuff. I got a lot of random things I want to talk about real quick.
Let's do it.
Chavo Guerrero's re-signed with WWE, apparently. Did you see this news story?
Chavo, I didn't, but shouts to Chavo. Good
I literally only saw the headline, so I don't really know. But I assume it's in a trainer role. He's taken up his uncle's, was it uncle or his dad? He's taken up that role as like the official trainer of Hollywood wrestlers. So I assume that he would be the perfect.
He did the Queen of the Ring training as well.
Guerrero family legacy there.
And what was the Von Erichs movie? He did that too, right?
Iron Claw, yeah.
Iron Claw, yeah.
So I assume he'll be working at the PC. Who knows? I mean, this is WWE trying to absorb all. If you want to teach someone how to wrestle, now you got to come to us. Karrion Kross and Scarlett's contracts are up in August. That news broke last week, but we didn't talk about it. What do you think? Gonna get cushy new deals, or are we gonna let him go, or is this gonna be another like work shoot where we fire him and we have to force his way back in as fans?
I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea what's going on with Karrion Kross and Scarlett. If I'm Karrion Kross, though, do I want to announce that I have a new contract? Do I want people to know?
No.
Do I want to keep them on this edge of my seat? Absolutely. Anytime we get a chance to be that will he or won't he re-sign guy.
It has felt like that this is what they've been angling. They've been angling at a sort of Brian Pillman-y thing for a while. I theorized based on absolutely nothing that there was a little bit of reluctance to the whole R-Truth thing because he was because that was, Triple H was probably sitting there saying, God damn it, I wanted to do that with Karrion Kross.
Maybe they still can.
No, there's still time. But it would look weird to do it twice in a row. But I think he's going to resign. I think it's definitely trending in the right direction. Maple Leaf Pro had their big resurrection card this weekend. It's absolutely sick show. I ended up watching most of it because, well, there wasn't a wrestling PLE on this weekend. A lot of cool highlights. Some medium lights too. But Matt Cardona defended the NWA World Heavyweight Championship wearing Macho Man inspired ring gear.
Oh wow.
Which is significant because it was 40 years ago that Macho Man Randy Savage debuted in the WWF.
Wow. Man, Macho Man Randy Savage is one of those wrestlers who's like, I don't know a wrestling life before Macho Man. He was like my first favorite wrestler.
Yeah.
He was like the first dude that like made me understand what like the over the topness about wrestling was, from the voice to the costume to the music. Like, he was my first favorite. Like, I understood what Hulk Hogan was. Like, Hulk Hogan was almost like G.I. Joe to me. Like, he was kind of like he's one of those people that just these people just existed. I can't think of a time where like watching Randy Savage in the Performance Center or like in the independent wrestling scene. You know
Totally
what I mean?
true.
Like, he just seems like one of those dudes that just always existed in my mind. You know what I mean? Like, I can't, my brain doesn't even comprehend like a pre-Macho Man wrestling watching.
No,
life.
I'm watching his debut match right now. It's great. It has all the, remember all the all the managers are outside the ring because everybody wants him, you know, like they're all scouting him. Oh, it's so great. Just really fantastic stuff.
Man.
And he had just been in Memphis prior to this being, he was like a wild man. It was so funny to see him show up as sort of a more put together guy. I guess Miss Elizabeth brought out the best in him. But man, he was just watching him do multiple elbows off the top rope, a double axe handle inside and outside the ring. I mean, this was revelatory, right?
Man, let me put
now
this
you
on
watch
right
it and you're
now.
like, that doesn't look like it hurts that much. Looks like it hurts Macho's knees more than it hurts anybody's head. But that was the pinnacle of aerial maneuver when he was doing that. That was wild stuff.
Man, look at that robe, man. Are we watching the same one? The black and gold robe and the
No, I'm watching it from the middle. I have no idea. He's just
he's
in his
Aldo
pink and yellow.
Marino.
Yeah, I think
he hasn't taken off his robe yet, so maybe I'll see the pink and yellow after. Yep, pink and yellow. Okay.
Yeah. Classy Freddie Blassie, Bobby the Brain Heenan, Mr. Fuji's in there.
Fuji's here.
Johnny Valentine.
Freddie Blassie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Freddie Blassie was smart enough to wear pink, to match.
There you
Macho.
go. He's trying to sign that hot young talent. But yeah, Macho.
I'm going to bring that Blassie look back. The polyester pants and matching short sleeve button down. Like, I'm going to bring that. I'm going to bring that look back.
You get Jimmy Hart, man, with this jacket, bro. Golly. Bobby
the Brain is very conservative here with his navy blazer and khakis. Little pocket square going on. Wait a second. We should just do like which wrestling manager do you want to dress like?
Oh, that would be heat. I'm like fast forwarding to the end where like all the managers are just like, oh man, this guy's great. There goes, what's my man's name? Howard Finkel.
Mm-hmm.
Still working the comb over. Yeah. Oh man. Shout out to the GOAT, man.
If you had to wear a manager's outfit every day for a year, like literally had to like look at find footage from WWE.com and they would you had to wear what Classy Freddie Blassie wore on TV every week.
You see, I was with Freddie Blassie's outfit until I seen he had his top tucked into his pants.
Yeah, no, he's got it tucked in. It looks like a onesie.
Yeah, like that waistband. That waistband.
I might just go with Mr. Fuji, man. I might go with Mr. Fuji. Consistency. Just wear that tuxedo every day, and make the hat work.
Man. Talk about a mega push. Could you imagine if somebody in their first match on WWE Raw has every single like manager out there to like what? Like imagine Obafemi like debuted on Raw, right? Mm-hmm. And like in his first match, like Paul Heyman's out there. Who else is the manager? WWE.
Yeah, there's not a lot of managers anymore.
There's not a lot of managers. Is it just Heyman? Is it just Heyman? Okay, let's
there's like
make
Scarlett.
Okay, Scarlett's one. All right. For shits and gigs, we'll say MVP's another one. We'll throw him in there.
Oh, in AEW, there's a lot. There's Stoke. There's
Stoke, Don Callis.
Don Callis.
Yeah. See, you do that now. They're like, oh my God, they're shoving them down our throats.
Well, one other thing that we didn't mention, Chris Daniels is a manager now. The new so-called Uncensored debuted on Collision.
Mm-hmm.
Scorpio Sky, Top Flight. Like, that's some stuff, right?
It's something.
This is what AEW does, and WWE's done has done it before. But this is just like the AEW special, right? It's like we don't know quite what to do with this dude. Let's create a faction around him, and then we'll forget it ever happened in 6 months. Does that sound right? The number of they have a lot of managers. Remember, like Jake the Snake teamed up with the Righteous or whatever. Like Jake the Snake had like 3 different crews, and he kept trading them for each other, and then. It never really amounted to anything. I don't know. Man, I'm sure I'm misremembering this.
I don't know. Stables are very hit and miss in 2025. It's hard to make a good stable work, to be honest. You can't just throw people together and be like, oh, this is gonna work. Like there's gotta be some real something in between those we could smell that chemistry out when it's like they just threw you guys together to make something happen,
Yeah.
because you're not doing anything.
Speaking of making something happen and throwing guys together, do you listen to Jacob Fatu's new single featuring Rikishi?
I did not listen to it. Only I've been added in it many, many times. And the only thing I hear about this is Jacob Fatu generously saying the N-word on this in the song. The old proverb saying, nary nigga was spoken, but wasn't nary a nigga around. Let me say, listen. I would just ask yourself, like, why even touch that? Like, why even touch that landmine? Like, I think it's whack, to be honest. Like, and I bangs with all the Samoans, and those are great people, and they've always been cool to me. But like, I can't co-sign that, man. Like, not no song. Like, it's just, I don't give people a reason to not like you, man. Like, off rip.
Yeah.
Like, just don't give people a reason to not like you. Especially the people who are supporting you the most, which is people that look like me, and I completely understand, if you're somebody who's black and say you grew up with somebody who wasn't necessarily black, but also said the N-word and you never encountered it, but they were just around and it just happened and you just kind of let it roll. I don't believe you. I think everybody has grown up with somebody like that, but now not in the big 2025, not in this time in life. Like, there's just no need. There's just no need for it. I'm not gonna crucify the guy for it, but it's just on a business level, why would you do something to make people look at you controversially or make you kind of question if they want to support you or not, like, and it's avoidable.
It's a good question.
They're already letting, like, and there wasn't no bigger Jacob Fatu on the show than me, man, but they're already giving you all of the passes. Like, you've gotten all of the passes already. Like, you got to say blood, cuz, like, you got to say gang affiliations on the show. Like, you got to have all, like WWE fans have given you so much passes on the black culture, right? Like, let's not get it confused. Like, the Raiders jerseys and the yada that means, like, all that stuff. Like, you getting so many passes on black culture. You don't need to do that. Like, you don't need to use that word in the song. I'm not even mad at you rapping. Rap your ass off. Do what you got to do. But that word, like, don't, you know what I mean? I wouldn't give people reasons to not bang with me for that, and I don't know Jacob personally, but like, from everything I hear, he's a wonderful dude, good brother.
Yep.
But at the same time, just like, I wouldn't touch that third rail. You've already accomplished as much as you had without having to touch that, and at the end of the day, man, I can't co-sign that. Even though I respect dude, I think he's hella talented and from all accounts, a solid brother. I personally just can't co-sign that publicly. Whatever. We already know people say it behind closed doors and amongst friends and all that. Like, we already know that. Like, let's not play stupid. But like, to go on a record and do that, it's just like, can't co-sign that, bro. Just can't.
I'm looking at the Reddit comments. They're mostly about this.
Mm-hmm.
As a username Forbidden Sorcery smartly says, and I'll echo him, I'm too white for this conversation. So moving on. Also from Reddit, if you could own any single, this is going to be my cold open question before the wig appeared. If you could own any single piece of wrestling memorabilia, they don't say this, but I am, belts excluded. Like, if you could own any piece of wrestling memorabilia that would otherwise have no dollar value. Like, someone suggested, like, this is, so, like, could be jokey. Like, the bedpan Austin hit Vince with. Like a chair, it's a piece of a table, a prosthetic leg, a robe. I'm going to say no to Kurt Angle's gold medals because that has value, monetary value. But just something that's not like something that, like, if you made it yourself, would not be worth a lot of money.
I would want the old school O'Neal Shawn Michaels boots. That's
what were
like
those?
O'Neal down the calf. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
You remember those? Like he wore those like in his first initial babyface turn after getting jumped at Syracuse. I just always thought those were really cool looking boots, and
those
like that
cool.
was like my favorite era of Shawn Michaels. Like I think he had just beat Jeff Jarrett for the Intercontinental title.
But are those the ones that were like Velcro, or are they or they had laces?
Yeah. Hold on, let me see if I can find these.
The ones that like kind of like that wrapped around and Velcroed, right?
Boom, right here. Shawn Michaels O'Neal boots. How did Shawn Michaels manage to wrestle in? Yeah, like the O'Neal joints. All right, so he prominently wears those in the Iron Man match at WrestleMania 12. You know, like I don't know. I just always thought those are cool looking boots and very much like prime Shawn Michaels. You know, it's like if those were like wrestling sneakers, those would be like
those
11s.
boots. Yeah, those are fantastic.
You know what I mean? Those would be like the Concord 11s from Michael Jordan, where it's like, this is where he did his best work in these shoes. You know what I mean? So that's probably what I'd go with.
That's pretty good. Yeah, what would be the best thing? The Iron Sheik boots would be pretty sick. You know, we should do a ranking of what wrestling item, what wrestling relic smells the worst. Rankings.
Oh God.
You know, because like famously,
I don't want to do anything with any wrestlers and smells. Oof. You ever smelled a wrestler's locker room?
No, I can't say that I have.
It smells like a mixture of icy hot ass, sweat, but lots of icy hot.
Like, they're all nursing their muscle injuries.
Baby oil, you know what I mean? Like,
does icy hot work?
It's just a weird concoction of scents that only exist in oily places. I don't know. Like, I don't know how to describe. Like, it's a oily.
I don't want to think about what the other oily places
so
are.
like, you know, whatever merchandise smells the worst, I'm like, I could.
I'm just saying, in a room full of
healthy guesses on those.
In a room full of icy hot, you got to really stink to stand out.
Yeah, and some really stink. Not before matches, but after matches, there's some perspirants that
Mick Foley used to always say that his Mankind mask was like the stinkiest thing in the world because it was just like leather and whatever, and just he couldn't wash it, so it just got sweatier and sweatier.
Yeah,
but I bet there's some stinkier stuff.
I don't even
tweet at Brian H. Waters or at the Masked Man Show. Ring of Wrestling. Where should they tweet, Brian, to give to suggest the stinkiest piece of gear from your childhood?
Just send them to Ring of Wrestling.
I don't just want something like
Actually, it has Cruise to be Control with a K.
Cruise Control with a K.
Yeah, send it all to Ben Cruz. That's hilarious.
He's not going to know why he's getting this. It's going to be fantastic. Stinky stuff like Mantar's singlet, or who would have the stinkiest boots?
Andre, clearly, gotta be Andre. Who's washing those?
Right. You just took me back to Jerry Lawler before that Kiss My Foot match.
Oh, yeah, there you go. The one thing about Andre is, like, if you wanted to clean the boots, like a regular human being could just stick their whole arm in there. It's not like some boots where it's like, I can't get to the toe, you know? But you're right. Yeah. Andre probably smelled really bad because who's going to tell him he stinks? Right? He's a giant.
He's a massive human being, and I think a lot of people probably did tell him he stunk, but it didn't matter because he was just freaking a gargantuan human, a literal giant. So,
this one really went off the rails. Okay.
It did. It did.
Let me see if there's anything else. Okay, let's see. Done. Man, we've already made it through all this stuff.
We got a good hour and change.
Good job. Good job.
Yeah.
I think that's it. I think we really did it. We made it through Monday. We did a little bit of a preview for the big wrestling weekend. And we're going to be back Thursday.
A good narrative preview.
Super show. For sure. For sure. Anyway.
It's always good to set the table on what the obvious talking points on the wrestling media will be in the next couple of days. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be great.
It's not every day that you get to have, not every weekend where you get to have 15 pay-per-views. So anyway.
Enjoy all the wrestling though.
No, I know. Get some rest this week so we can enjoy the wrestling this weekend. Kaz, you want to get some plugs in?
New 7 p.m. in Brooklyn drops Thursday. New Say Less with Kaz drops today. And that's it.
Thanks to our producer, Brian H. Waters. Thanks to our EP, Ben Cruz. Please tweet stinky things at him, at Cruise Control. Thank you all for listening. We'll be back on Thursday with a super preview of all this stuff, all the weekend wrestling that is to come. Finn Balor's going to be okay. Boo your mama. We'll see you back here on Thursday, Humanoids.
Peace.